WYT Chicago. 88.9 FM Fusion Radio.
Alright, so it's Fusion Radio with Brian Simpson and YTS Keys, man. The guests keep coming. This one right here told us on social media. Man, I'm looking forward to this interview. I've been waiting to get in here on Fusion Radio. And I was like, wow, man, you know what I'm saying, to get that type of love for both of us, man, and you want to take some time out, spend time with us, man, really was something special, man. So, man, we got a really dope guest by the name of Cyphersick that's in the building, man, and so, of course, we definitely got to get into the origins of how you definitely came up with that damn it's Fusion Radio with Brian Simpson and YTS Keys, man, and so I want you to go into that story, man. What's the story behind this artist now?
Man, that story comes up in every interview, so it's textbook now. I expect it at this point. But man, basically, my first stage name, first pseudonym I went by was just Cypher, plain Cypher, because I always was in the rap cypher. That's kind of how my introduction and influence of hip hop kind of took over. It kind of became infectious because we would always be in the lunchroom just freestyling, or outside the neighborhood just freestyling, pretty much anywhere. Anywhere we could stand 2 feet and we could hear our voice against the air, we was freestyling the cypher. The sick part was actually given to me by the fans, because I would go to open mics, I would go to shows and events, and I'd perform, even just in the ciphers. And instead of people saying like, oh, those lines were cold, or that was hard, that was raw, every single reaction would always be the same word, sick, every time. Like, no matter if it was a man, woman, child, whoever, they always said the same thing. So I just kind of added that to it, and that's the origin of the name, Cyphersick.
So, like, what necessarily got you to the point where you was like, okay, I want to make music, or I want to freestyle, or in some type of way, I want to be around music?
I mean, honestly, I've been around music my whole life, even before hip hop. Like, I grew up in the church, and I was heavy in the music ministry in church. As far as like the choir, I played drums. My cousins played drums. They kind of got into it a little bit more than me, but I had dibbled and dabbled with all different elements of that. And then when I finally got to my preteen and teenage years, I was kind of like just smacked in the face with hip hop. Like, I always knew it existed, but I wasn't really into it yet. So once it grabbed hold of me, which was when my sister bought me my first 2 albums, which was it was the Marshall Mathers EP, Eminem, and it was The Great Depression by DMX, the first 2 hip hop albums I ever owned personally. And I pretty much ran through those, and I was hearing these guys say things that were thoughts I had in my head I never told anybody. And they didn't know me from a can of paint in a hardware store. So that kind of just made me feel like, man, this is something that I want to be a part of, because how can you reach people that you've never met from across the world? And I found a way to do it. And then also it's always been around me because my friends always rapped. My sister's husband, my brother-in-law, he's been my brother for like 15 years now. He started rapping as soon as he got with my sister. Well, he had been rapping probably before that, but he started doing it around me probably like a year after they got together. So I was just every day around these different brothers at different ages, just dropping rhymes, man, and just random locations. Like I say, wherever we was, it was everywhere. I couldn't escape it. So I just kind of embraced it. And I was like, okay, I think I could probably do this too. And then the storytelling, being able to tell those stories was a big part of it for me. So I was like, maybe I can incorporate some of my stories and life experiences into it. To be honest with y'all, brothers, man, hip hop saved my life. This is the reason I'm here. Being able to jump in the way I did and be able to take advantage of it the way I did is the only reason I'm here. I'm a suicide survivor. I'm a big push for mental health awareness, and that's translated through my music and everything that I do as well. So.
That's what's up, man. Well, man, we hearing you drop jewels, man, and everything, man. We got 2 singles, and we love to allow our guests to play program director or music director of the show. So you've got Cypher City, and then you've got Weirdo Activity. I'm really excited about Weirdo Activity, but I ain't gonna tell you which one to play first. You tell us which one.
Man, go ahead and play the first one. It's City Life. It's actually City Life.
City Life?
Yeah, that's my single off of my EP 43rd. It just dropped. It's on all major streaming platforms, and it's actually on Power 92 as well. It's my first single to get broken on major radio here in Chicago. So I'm pretty happy about that.
So man, how did that feel, man? Like when you actually got the call, or when you heard about it, like, man, take us through that, man. Like, the whole story.
Honestly, that was like a dream come true. It was a situation where I had been pushing the song for a bit, doing it at different events, different shows. And then I ended up finally connecting with Sean Dale, salute to Sean Dale from Power 92. And I've known him for years, but I never like really had that direct rapport relationship with him. So this was like my first chance to really get to chop it up with him and just let him know what I was trying to do with my movement. And he invited me to come to the radio station. He was like, man, I'll break the record on the radio, and we're going to have an interview with you. And I was like, seriously? He was like, yeah, come through. I was like, when you want to do it? He said, we could do it this week. I wasn't even expecting it to be as fast as it happened. It was kind of just, I wish I could take credit for it. It was just the universe. It was just God putting me in that position. And I went to the radio station. We had the interview. We broke it. I nailed it. He told me I did a great job, and I was like, man, I've been practicing. I've been doing a lot of interviews leading up for these big ones, man. And all the interviews are major to me. Any platform that has me is major to me. But that was always a dream of mine to hear. Ever since I got into this game, was to hear one of my records on Power 92, WGCI, one of those stations I listen to everybody. I grew up listening to on. So it was overwhelming, man. But I held it together. I ain't crying the radio station, but I shed a tear when I got back in Chicago,
man. Man, can I tell you one thing, man? Two things is congratulations, number
Thank you.
one, on getting played on Power 92. Number two is, you know, I love to give people their flowers. And Shondale has done so much for the Chicago music culture, just like Shot Blizz has done, and so many others.
Oh, yeah, salute to Blizzy, yeah.
You know, just want to big them up, man, for what they do on a major platforms. You know what I'm saying? And so kudos out to Shondale, man, and everything, man. And
Yeah, salute to them,
been
brothers.
doing it for a very, very long time, man, and everything. To be in prime time on a Sunday. Like, you think about that, he's on from 6 to 10.
Yeah.
Prime time on a Sunday, doing what he's doing and networking people, doing his own events and all that stuff. Not looking to others to create things. He's doing things for people. And so just want to big him up, man. But we finna jump into your single, man, City Life, man. It's the homie Cyphersick, man, in the building with Brian Stinson and YTS Keys on Fusion Radio.
Let's go.
Don't you get it wrong, we ain't living right in the city life. I remember nights when left just trying to get it right. All I know is grind, count this paper, so much money on my mind. Put it all on the line from the summer straight through the winter time. In the city life, in the city life. Don't you get it wrong, we ain't living right in the city life. In the city life. In the city life. Don't you get it wrong, we ain't living right in the city life. Always talking money, y'all need a translator. Working with these bands like my name Bear. I couldn't make it major, working minimum wages, so I blew 20K last year on vacation. Spent the bag on the rent, and I make as much as people snap in the fist. But I'm looking like that, I'm by the fist, so I set my fingers and half of y'all don't exist. We from the jungle on cement. When it's tapped in, never tapped out on cement. I got the juice and the drip, so your woman sound out, thirsty for a sip. Says money make her cool. She call me money make her sick every time that I hit. Time me money unless you wanna spend it. That city life made it like this. Don't you get it wrong, we ain't living right in the city life. I remember nights when left just trying to get it right. All I know is grind, count this paper, so much money on my mind. Put it all on the line from the summer straight through the winter time. In the city life, in the city life. Don't you get it wrong, we ain't living right in the city life. In the city life, in the city life. Don't you get it wrong, we ain't living right in the city life. It's survival of the fittest. Who the strongest and who can think the quickest? Everybody claim the realest, but men and women lie every day, every minute. Count the seconds and the minutes between my heartbeats and my breath, man, I can feel it. Thank God for forgiveness, and I'm still about my digits like a salesman division. We're connected in the trenches. Can you hear me now on the line? Talking business, GC laugh in the distance, 'cause my ad libs.
Come back.
All these years I've been in it, they ain't wanna hear it, but now I make them listen. Full speed on the mission, never give up, run the marathon until it's finished.
Man, can I be honest with you? I was sitting there listening to that song, and I know we just had one guest from Columbia College, Chicago. That honestly took me back to my radio days at Columbia, and Wednesday nights, and we had the whole Chicago hour where we featured nothing but Chicago music. And that whole feel that you just gave right there, like took it back to those days, man. The guest that you're seeing on Facebook Live and you're listening to, man, is the homie Cyphersick, man. He's in the building. So before we actually went to break, you sort of fed us with this new EP and everything that you dropped earlier this month. Go further into detail about it, like the whole creative process of putting it together, some other things we should know about it, and then once again, where it's available at.
Okay, yeah, so the EP I just dropped April 10th is called 43rd. The concept of that EP is literally, it's a love letter to the history of where I come from. I originate from the low end neighborhood here in Chicago. They call it the Kenwood area, Bronzeville area. You know, they kind of all blend together, Kenwood, Bronzeville, Hyde Park. We all smushed in there together. So everywhere in that general vicinity, that's the low end. And that's the entire part of town that built my identity. Everything I learned, the very basics of my human instinct comes from everything over there in that neighborhood. I was born and raised in that neighborhood my entire life. But specifically on the 43rd Avenue between Cottage Grove and the lakefront is where I got a lot of my tutelage as far as just, man, learning how to be a man, learning how to stand on my own too, learning how to survive and navigate the different things that young black men in our urban communities, especially here in Chicago, have to go through. I've been through every emotion, almost every experience. Only a few experiences that I've been shy of. And if I haven't experienced it personally, I've been right next to one of my brothers that's experienced it down there. So that's pretty much what the album was about, was just taking people back in time to where I was and where I came from and what it made me become. Because that's what I always say, I never forget where I came from or what it made me become, what it turned me into, good, bad, or indifferent. Everything that I am, I owe to, or I can relate back to something that happened to me in that neighborhood or in that area. So as far as the creative process, that was pretty easy. I came together with my cousin, Henny Rocks, who's also a Chicago artist and producer. He produced, I'd say, at least 60% of that album. It's all his production. He's also featured on several of the songs, because I say he's an artist as well. And the other production was just from different producers from all around the states that I networked with. A lot of people I networked with on IG, Twitter, just anywhere where I put my music out, I got different producers wanting to work with me. But 43rd is available on all major streaming platforms. Anywhere where you can find your favorite artist, you can find me. So Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, Apple Music. But y'all can also check out my website, Cyphersick.com. That's CYPHERSICK.com. Has all of my social media platforms, has my music, my EPK, everything you need. Press photos, anything that's me, you can find on that website, including that.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. I like artists or just people that come on this platform and take advantage of the platform. You gotta promote yourself. Let people know like what you got going on and where to find your stuff at. Cause people can listen to the interview and be like, he was cool, but we don't even know where to go check out his stuff.
Yeah,
so
I feel you.
But one thing I wanted to talk about was like when I was listening to you rap, you gave me like the old Kanye feel. Like I ain't trying to like categorize you or nothing like that, but when I was listening to your flow and how you rap, it made me think about like when Kanye was coming out with songs like, you feel me? Like that old Kanye.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You feel me? So it's like that's how it made me feel. So what I wanted to ask you was like, what's some people like in the industry, or just not even so much in the industry, just people you've been around musically that inspired you to have the type of flow and for you to rap the way you rap?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, definitely off top, Kanye West was one of my biggest inspirations. I mean, just Yeezy being the underdog and being somebody who wanted to bring something different from Chicago, show a different sound of what we were capable of, I relate to that. Because I could do the same music that everybody else do up here. And that's no shade or disrespect to anybody, because I love all music and I love the culture that what we add to the culture in Chicago. But we got so much more to offer. I remember I was on the radio in Vegas recently, earlier this year, and they was like, man, you teaching us something, because we thought all y'all had was drill music. Like, they literally thought that, because that's all they've heard from us for the last 15 years. And I'm like, no, I want to open and broaden the world's view of what music comes out of Chicago, aside from just that. Of course, everybody knows Kanye. He's a legend at this point, but they haven't really seen anything else that was of that element since then. So that's what I want to represent as well, while still keeping it authentic, just like he did. And then outside of that, some of my other biggest inspirations are like Nas, for sure. I saw him perform live when I was younger with a live band, and that just changed my whole perception of what a musical performance should be like. So Him definitely, and lyrically, everything that he did. Jay-Z for sure. Twister for sure up here in Chicago. I've run into him a few times personally, but just listening to him, even as a kid, he always inspired me just with that raw, uncut energy that he gave. I like that more than the fact that he could even rap as fast as he did. It was just the energy that he put into it. But I'd say one of my biggest inspirations outside the industry is my brother, my sister's husband. This dude is so lyrical. Salute to my brother Jonathan Strickland, man, aka J Alias, man. He literally sat there and used to just run circles around these beats we would listen to, and it just made me feel like, man, how does he do this? He's a machine. And I just kind of wanted to emulate that, and that's also how I got into that. So.
See, I like that you brought up the last person, you feel me? Because what people don't really understand is, it's like, it be these, like, the small people. Well, I'm not even going to even say small people, but the people you around every day that really change your mindset or really push you to another level. Because it's like, it's kind of like how they say, if you put yourself around certain people, you're going to turn out a certain type of way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If you stand around people that ain't got nothing going on, eventually you're not going to have nothing going on.
You are the company you keep, for sure.
Exactly. So just to hear you talk about your brother and like how he inspired you, because I ain't gonna lie, I got people like that too. And see, you didn't say, one thing I liked about what you said was, you didn't hear him going crazy, and you didn't actually, like, it didn't deter you away from music. It didn't make you be like, oh no, I can't do this because bro making it look so effortless. No, it made you want to grind harder. It made you want to push a little bit hard. So I like that, because a lot of people don't see success and get like motivated by it. A lot of people like get envious and start hating, like, no, because whatever I'm doing, you could do it too, or you could actually be better if you put your mind to it. Though. So I like that you said that.
Thank you.
Most definitely. So like, with you being in the game for so long and doing so much in the game, like, what's some things that you accomplished that you actually proud of?
Oh man. I mean, one thing I'm definitely proud of is making it to Power 92. Also, speaking of which, I recently just flew back in this morning. I was at Phoenix, Arizona. I just opened up a Project Pat up there on 420 Club Silverado. He was rocking with my music. He was rocking with what I was doing. I was able to tap in with his team. Also, thanks to Shondale and DJ KC's. I'm just unimaginably grateful for the opportunity. And the other things that I'm proud of is just being able to drop 2 EPs this year, because I also dropped another EP earlier this year in February. That's my time with Super Producer 2 Official. That's my brother, and he's really doing a lot of stuff with industry artists right now, like Cameron, Jadakiss, some of everybody. He's producing for some of everybody, like legends on the East Coast and even here in the Midwest that I grew up listening to, and now I have a whole album produced by him. And it's the most, streaming-wise, analytically, it's the most successful project I've ever put out in my life. I literally did over 20K in 2 months, and it's still going up every day. So I'm proud of all of that. I'm just proud I didn't give up. I'm proud that I came back with a vengeance, and I'm proud that I stayed true to myself. I never tried to alter my character as an artist or as a person to make it in this industry or to fit. And now the city is embracing me, and other cities around the country are embracing me. So, man, I'm just unimaginably grateful.
Man, big up you, man. Congratulations, man, on definitely, man, making things happen, man. So, ultimate goals when it comes to the music industry. You've accomplished a lot, but what's some more ultimate goals that you have as far as you and your whole music movement?
Overall, I want to be able to build a foundation for me and my family. And I mean, when I say family, I don't mean just like brothers, sisters, or children. I mean like my brothers, my family in this music, my brothers who are in the streets with me that also pursue music, and even those that weren't. I want to be able to have like a music group, a label, whatever it is, whichever company route we decide to go, but I want to basically create that platform and that space to let these brothers and the sisters that I have that also have these creative talents work in that space. So we can all work for ourselves, and we can build and create generational wealth for our children and our children's children. That's ultimately what the goal for me is. Like, I'm doing it for me because I want this and I've wanted it my whole life, but it's bigger than me now. I'm doing it for the conglomerate, for the collective. So that's my biggest goal, is to just take this as far as God lets me take it, so I can spread it to others and spread that blessing and wealth to others. So.
Social media-wise, man, how do they stay in tune with the movement?
Oh, man, you can follow me on all social media platforms at CYPHERSICK. That's all one word. And once again, you can also go to my website, Cyphersick.com, CYPHERSICK.com. Literally on the homepage is every social media icon. Just click on it. It'll take you straight to my page. You can follow me there.
So before we close it out, this was one, when I saw the title of this one, I really was excited about getting into it. Weirdo activity. I hear it a lot, man. There's a lot of weirdo stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
I hear that term a lot, man. There's a lot of weird vibes happening now.
Yeah.
So, like, man, take us through, man, when you created weirdo activity. I'm trying to get this out because I'm
Hey.
laughing right now. But your whole feel is to, like, man, why did you have to do a song called Weirdo?
I'm not gonna lie, man, guys. I had a really rough day one day, and it was because I was just reflecting on all the weird stuff that had been happening in recent time. I was like, man, I got all these weird women that's in my inboxes. Like, I guess this is what it means to be a celebrity. I got all these weird artists trying to, you know, collab with me that had never wanted to work with me before, but they've been knowing about me for years. Just personal stuff. There's just a lot of weird stuff going on. So I called up my producer, salute my producer, engineer skills on the beat. He been with me since I started this. He literally helped me create the sound. I called him. I said, bro, I know I normally book the studio time in advance, but I just wrote this song, man. I need to get this out today. Can I come in the studio today and put this song out? I'm feeling some type of way. He was like, come on, slide through. And literally, I wrote it that same day, and I laid it that same day. And that's just the way I was feeling. I felt like I had to get that off my chest, man. Let them know I ain't with this weirdo activity, man. Y'all can keep that over there, man. I'm good.
Oh, brother, man, look, man. It lined up exactly the way I thought it was going to be, man. And we are like, for the bottom of our hearts, we're proud of you, man. And we're just thankful that you were excited to want to be on our platform. And, man, continued success, man, on all this awesomeness, man, that you're doing, man, with your career, man. No doubt, man. It's Fusion Radio, Brian Stinson, YTS Keys, man. Our homie, Cyphersick, man, in the building, man. We're about to jump into this weirdo activity. Y'all turn this show up because everybody has a story about some weirdo activity.
Let's go, man.
This is a
Yeah. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Always protecting my energy. In therapy, stop the keep free. They don't wanna be my enemy. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Always protecting my energy. Trying to take me a centerpiece. Man, I know these all sick of me. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Man, I know these all sick of me. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Man, I know these all sick of me. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Always protecting my energy. Flash G in the vicinity. Out of town, they can't get with me. Silly hoe, think I'm tricking me. So I'ma can tell you to leave. Never get a fans all of me. Gotta keep a little mystery. Pure bread straight off the three. Time to let the dog off the leash. Fortified like the armor breathing like a crime scene. No crossing me. Always live, ain't no pausing me. Green light going top speed. Dead even trying to stop me. Got no time for monotony. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Always protecting my energy. In therapy, stop the keep free. They don't wanna be my enemy. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Always protecting my energy. Trying to take me a centerpiece. Man, I know these all sick of me. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Man, I know these all sick of me. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Ain't with that weirdo activity. Man, I know these all sick of me. Never let the hate get to me. Won't bow down, can't take a knee. Make them bow down. No, he'll the king. Pucker up, haters don't kiss the ring. I'm a vibe filler when I hit the scene. My life a movie, play my role with ease. That's why these groupies always stalking me. Not talking money, don't talk to me. Living solo, I don't want company. Too busy taking to this money tree. So time for the ring. You don't really won't be with me. Just mad I'm what you'll never be. Had to say it just for the glory